The recent terror attack in Brussels is raising security concerns at airports around the world. And here in the U.S., the State Department has issued a travel warning for Americans headed overseas. So joining us this morning with advice on how to cope with any travel anxiety or fears is clinical psychologist Sheela Raja. Sheela, thanks. It's always great to see you. You always have good advice for people and how to cope with this stuff. A lot of parents dealing with this with their kids. So first and foremost, what do you suggest? What, in terms of concerns, what advice do you have to ease nerves about all this?
Well, first of all, recognizing that a certain amount of nerves is normal. It makes us caring, kind people, right? That we care about this. The initial urge is to stereotype people with any kind of terrorism, right? We want to say, are you a threat to me or are you not? And we've really got to fight that urge to stereotype. I mean, we're such a multicultural community, and if you know, my advice, strike up a conversation that's with someone who's different than you in like the line at the McDonald's or an elevator, and we just get to see like most people, by and large, are really nice, decent, kind people, regardless of who they are.
So let's talk about travel, though, because a lot of people, the initial reaction is to cancel trips. Why is that not a good idea, or to avoid the airport? What do you suggest?
So avoidance works in the short term, but it does not work in the long term. It's actually a bad idea because it actually makes our anxiety worse if we continue to use that as a way of coping. So you've got to face your fears.
And one of the recommendations that you have is to limit social media time. How does that help?
Well, you know, you want to be informed, but you don't want to be overwhelmed. So a certain amount of information is good, but, you know, I always say you've got to disconnect in order to connect. So in some ways, get your update in the morning, and then after that, go about your day. Spend time with your family, you know, really realizing that these things are actually not happening all the time.
One of the hardest things to do is talk to kids about events like this. Real quick before we go, how can parents talk to their kids to ease anxiety?
Kids need to feel reassured that they're safe and that, you know, our government is doing what it can do. And then, you know, also reassuring kids that most people are good, decent human beings, you know, focusing on all of the stories of people taking care of people who are different than them, opening their doors to people. You know, the resilience, that's really important for us to teach them as well.
Always great to see you, Sheela. Thank you so much for coming in this morning, and we'll have a link up on our website, cbschicago.com, a little bit later.